CM Punk's sensational return to WWE at Survivor Series has electrified the wrestling world, making it a thrilling time for WWE fans everywhere. With Punk back in the WWE fold, we're eagerly anticipating new matchups and rivalries, bringing a fresh dynamic to the roster. His comeback not only shakes up the WWE landscape, but also reignites excitement amongst the WWE 2K community. CM Punk's presence in 2K games has been obviously sparse due to his firing in 2014 from WWE, with his last appearance being in 2K15 months after he'd been fired from the company. After a hiatus over 9 years, his absence in the game series has been keenly felt. Fans have long clamored for his return either as a legendary figure or a special guest character, but now with his WWE comeback, there's renewed hope for his inclusion in 2K titles. But this raises a crucial question. Will CM Punk feature in 2K24 or will his return be timed out for 2K25 due to scheduling of his WWE comeback? In this video, we'll delve into the compelling reasons why CM Punk may very well be a part of 2K24, set to likely release in March of 2024. We will break down our analysis into 5 key points, exploring the potential impact of Punk's inclusion in the game and what it means for fans and players alike. Join us now as WrestleGamia looks at why CM Punk will be in WWE 2K24. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when we upload a video. Number 1. Will WWE want him in the game? The inclusion of WWE superstars in their video game counterparts often mirrors their real-life prominence, and this is especially true for high-profile returns. A prime example of this was Ronda Rousey's return to WWE at the Royal Rumble in 2022. Despite being away for nearly 3 years, WWE's interest in having her featured in 2K22 was significant. With less than 2 months until the game's release, it seemed unlikely Rousey would make it in the initial roster, and even a DLC appearance was doubtful, given that such content is typically planned well in advance. However, Rousey's case was exceptional. WWE took the initiative and requested 2K Games to include her in the game. Responding swiftly, 2K had Rousey scanned and prepared for inclusion in the DLC lineup, underscoring her importance to the brand. Similarly, WWE expressed a desire to have Cody Rhodes in 2K22. This was following his notable return at WrestleMania 38. Although plans for Rhodes were eventually shifted to 2K23 at his request, and possibly due to timing constraints, it highlighted WWE's strategy to align their gaming content with current TV storylines and star power. Including CM Punk in WWE 2K24 aligns perfectly with marketing strategies, enhancing sales potential by leveraging his long-awaited return. A delay until 2K25 would diminish this impact, prolonging the anticipation of fans to play as Punk in a WWE game after a 9-year hiatus. Therefore, it makes strategic and commercial sense for WWE to push Punk's inclusion in 2K24, maximizing the momentum of his return and satisfying the eagerness of fans worldwide. Number 2. He just made the cut. The timing couldn't be any better for CM Punk to be included in 2K24. There are 2 main things that made this possible. First, Punk came back in November of 2023, and this is important because it gives the developers at Visual Concepts enough time to include him in the next game, likely releasing in March of 2024. And secondly, the release dates for the 2K series shifted to March with the 2K22. Before that, these games used to drop around October-November. Now, why does this matter? Well, if 2K24 was still coming out in October like in the old days, Punk's November return would have been too late. He'd missed the cutoff and we'd all be waiting a whole year to play as him. But with the game set to release in March now, Punk's got a much better shot at being included. Think about it, he's back 2 whole months before Ronda Rousey made a return to WWE at the Royal Rumble 2022, and we saw how they managed to get Rousey into the game as DLC, so it looks pretty good for Punk to follow a similar path. He might not make it onto the main roster right when WWE 2K24 hits the shelves, but not being part of the DLC lineup is pretty much a guarantee at this point, unless there's any kind of non-timing related issues from making it possible. The developers at Visual Concepts are very likely working overtime to get Punk scanned and prepped for the game. It's all about getting him ready for DLC content for 2K24, which would be a huge win for fans of the 2K series. We're talking about playing as CM Punk in a WWE game after a long 9 years, and that's something that is still crazy to say even days later. It's very possible we might hear about Punk getting scanned for 2K24 pretty soon. Number 3. His DLC pack will be a hot seller. CM Punk's potential inclusion in 2K24 as part of the Season Pass or DLC pack is a big deal for fans, but it could be even bigger deal for the WWE and 2K's pockets when it comes to revenue. First, having CM Punk in the game won't just be a request from WWE, it's going to be a major opportunity for 2K as well. They're likely to pull out all the stops to get him ready. Why? Because anything featuring CM Punk is going to sell like crazy. We're talking about a guy who's hugely popular, gone for 9 years, and his DLC could end up being the most bought in 2K's history. This means big bucks in terms of revenue. The CM Punk DLC could be a goldmine. And now here's something to think about: the price of the season pass and DLC packs. With Punk being such a hot commodity, there's a chance the prices might go up. WWE and 2K know fans really want Punk part of the WWE 2K24 DLC, and this demand could lead to a price hike. However, they've got to be careful. We've seen with how AEW Fight Forever got some heat for their high DLC prices, which were even steeper than WWE 2K's. WWE and 2K probably want to avoid that kind of backlash. They wouldn't want fans skipping out on using CM Punk because the price is too steep. After all, having Punk in the game is great for marketing. The more people who have him, the better it is for WWE and the fans. It's all about finding that sweet spot where the DLC is just priced right. Affordable for fans, but still profitable. Keep an eye out for how this plays out, as it could set a new trend in how wrestling games handle their DLC pricing. Number 4. My Faction content. WWE 2K is seriously ramping up its focus on My Faction. It's clear that this mode is not just a passing feature, it's become a core part of the game's experience, driven by its success by generating revenue for 2K. This means that we can expect even more emphasis on My Faction in future releases. And what could be more significant addition to this mode than exclusive content featuring Punk? Now we get it, My Faction has its critics and not everyone is a fan. Even we have our reservations about it. But let's face it, exclusive CM Punk content is almost guaranteed to be a big seller in My Faction. If 2K goes down this path, we can anticipate some unique and exciting offerings. Picture this: several different versions of CM Punk, each unique to My Faction. There's potential for a wide range of looks: his initial WWE appearance with the long hair, the iconic Straight Edge Society era complete with the mask, or his 2012 to 2013 look with a shaved head. Each version could come up with its period-specific attire, adding authenticity and variety to the game. While the idea of these exclusive Punk versions being limited to My Faction might not sit well with everyone, it's hard to deny their appeal. These models would add a whole new dimension to the game, bringing back nostalgic moments from Punk's career. It's a chance to relive some of his most memorable phases in a virtual setting. However, there's a big picture to consider. If 2K24 includes these exclusive CM Punk models in My Faction, there's a hope amongst fans, and us too, that the game's developers will find a way to make them available outside of this mode. This will be a win-win for everyone. My Faction gets its exclusive content to drive revenue, and all the players get a chance to enjoy different incarnations of Punk across various modes. This approach could set a new precedent for how 2K handles exclusive content, balancing revenue generation with player satisfaction. It's about making the game enjoyable for all types of players, whether they're into My Faction or not. So let's keep our fingers crossed and see how this unfolds in 2K24. And number 5, get fans away from AEW Fight Forever. The inclusion of Punk in 2K24 has implications beyond just adding a popular wrestler to the game. It's also a strategic move that could shift players' attention away from AEW Fight Forever. Fight Forever, despite its initial hype, seems to be struggling with decreasing player counts and growing dissatisfaction amongst players, especially due to its approach to DLC pricing. In this landscape, CM Punk's presence in 2K24 become even more significant. Currently, for PS5 players, the only way to play as an official CM Punk character are in 2K15 or AEW Fight Forever. This limitation means that fans specifically looking to play as Punk have limited options. Introducing Punk into 2K24 changes all of that. Those who have been turning to AEW Fight Forever primarily to play as a recent version of Punk may find a new home in 2K24. It's a smart way for 2K to attract players, particularly those who might not be die-hard WWE fans but are drawn to the game just because of Punk. Even though Fight Forever is far from being the most popular wrestling game right now, well, right now we'd say it's ice cold, the migration of players to 2K24 driven by the addition of Punk is a significant win for 2K. In the competitive world of wrestling video games, drawing even a small number of players away from a rival game is a big W. It's not just about increasing player counts for 2K24, it's also about capturing a segment of the market that's looking for a specific experience, and in this case, it's playing as CM Punk. But there you have it folks, why CM Punk will be in 2K24. Do you think he'll be in? Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling video game content.